want to harken back to a technique I've been using for years. I haven't shared too much on this channel. I love to doodle, and I mainly doodle female figures. I'm heavily influenced by Picasso's work in Cubism. And although I'm certainly not comparing myself to Picasso, this is usually something that I come up with. This one's a little tough to see, but not so much on tracing paper. And I might do something with this another time, maybe later today. This one, however, was just a stream of consciousness doodle, just a similar to Picasso's Sunbather. I'll show you that image really quick here. And again, I'm not trying to compare myself to Picasso, just heavily influenced by his work. And what I wanted to do was maybe create something that wasn't necessarily, patterns and objects to make the figure, but to find real human pieces in my ephemera collection to make the figure, or maybe not. In any case, this was my starting point, stream of conscious doodle, and work from there. Am I going to create something that's just like this? Well, we'll find out soon enough. I have in my ephemera collection a folder that I call, even though it's a bit creepy, body parts. And all I do is collect body parts. This is just sounding more and more scary. But I just collect images of the human body that I think would make a great collage, maybe a focal point. I've had this National Geographic mummy for a long time now. I love her hair, but I would keep the features also because sometimes you can use those features in other images as well. She's just a whale body. This gal, I can't wait to use her, but I did work with her already because she does not have a midriff currently, but I love her. I can't wait to use her. And then just some, maybe others that, it's like I maybe just use this leg or, her back. But that's what I keep in my body parts folder. And there's many, many more to be had. I try to save my magazines as much as possible, whatever I have. The reason being is magazines, I don't see a shortage yet. I hope not. But I'm afraid there may come a time when we're so digitized that we don't need magazines anymore. And I hope that day never comes. And in the meantime, I'm just going to try to save as much as I can. I think I'm worrying for nothing at this point. But in the interim, I want to be frugal. I also found when I was working on this collage, this design for a makeup ad. And I loved the purple and these bits of blue that were streaked through it. Originally, another little known fact maybe that you don't know about me yet, I tried to study graphic design in college before I finally switched over to fine art. Graphic design is wonderful. I am very sensitive towards it. Am I a graphic designer? I'm not Picasso, and I'm not really much of a graphic designer, but I love it. It's one of those things, maybe I'm not great at it, but I love to play with it and have a good time. So I'm using that for a big portion of the color in this collage. And I'm also using this music. It's old music. I haven't used music notes for a long time. I actually have drawn these doodles directly onto music notes. It's very soothing and gives me, I don't know what it is. It's, again, another stream of consciousness. I may even do a video about that someday. I'm not sure. But this is going to be my background. And also, it also kind of gives me a title, but I think I know what my title for this collage is going to be. I've kind of already built it, so here we go. I'm thinking about, or what I was thinking about, again, I chose this as my color scheme because I've already cut it out. And then I looked at her head and how, it's kind of, laying down onto the side. So I found this head that was kind of tilted, just gorgeous. And I thought, I could put it here, this will work. So I went ahead and started with that, but then I realized I was going to need a neck, and this neck is elongated. do I stay with the human body forms, or do I go off and find another object that's going to expand on that? I don't know yet. And also, how about the eye? There's one eye here, again, Picasso-esque and kind of cycloptic. You know how how I enjoy using just one eye, but I didn't really want to do that this time. So I cut off her hair, I cut this ear a little bit, and I just tuck it in. So it looks something like that. Again, looks like it belongs there because that's what we're aiming for in collage. Now, what about the body? Now, the body was actually giving me a little bit of trouble because it's not natural. It's not a regular type of body. So I went ahead and cut 2 midriffs and then found this purse that was actually perfect for one of my midriffs. And it matched up with another one. So this was a lot of cutting. This was a lot of searching. This wasn't something that fell together in place like my pieces sometimes do. This was something I had to measure. I had to line things up so that it looks like they belong. This tape is here just to keep everything in place because there was a lot of work. And I liked how this arm was. And then when I was playing with it, and I'm going to play with it some more before I actually commit it to paper, I played with it and I'm like, oh my gosh, that kind of looks like it belongs. Something like that. Hopefully that's not too hard for you all to see. Let me go ahead and move it onto a darker background. But I just lined it up so it looks like it belonged. Right at the shoulder there. Kind of. It's also very Frankenstein-esque. I'm still in that mode. I don't know why. But here's another arm. And I loved how the other arm would fit right here because in the original model, she had her hand hooked onto her hip, and I realized I could do that here just as easily. But the thing is I want it to line up. It needs to line up with her neck area, and I'm going to have to do some more cutting also. I thought that looked good too. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is coming together. I have a space here, and I was thinking about the heart. I got the heart here, so I go, well, maybe I can do something with the heart right here. I cut out these flowers again, like I shared earlier. They ended up here. I'm not brave enough to do actual images of female breasts because I don't know how YouTube will feel about that, or viewers for that matter. I have no qualm about doing it, but I do want to keep this as rated G as possible. We'll see. In this video, it's going to be rated G. So that's how I'm playing with that. And then we have the legs. Now this is where it gets a little different. We'll move this up a little bit so you guys can see it. And it was just a pair of legs. And now I feel like it has very much like a Hannah Hoch quality. Hannah Hoch is a German woman who was part of the Dada group. I'll show you a couple images of hers. And again, I am heavily inspired by her, especially for collage. She is my hero. She was one of only 2 women in the Dada group, and her work surrounded collage. So I find that this piece especially kind of was lending itself to a Dada look. Another fun fact about Dada, in Eastern European countries, da means yes, and when they would get together in the early 1920s, the artists would get together and sit around and talk. One of the critics heard 2 of the artists talking to each other, and they kept going da, like yes, yes. They were agreeing with each other, hence the term Dada, and that's how they became the Dada group. Is that true? I read it on the internet. It must be true, right? What is true is I'm going to go ahead and finish this up. I did save other pieces of this wonderful graphic design from a basic makeup ad, and I think I may do something with that. I think she does need a little bit of a heart. I also feel, and this is just me, I have a couple pair of eyes that I got for my body parts. I may put them on her chest. I'll see how it looks, and I'll get back to work. provide you, my viewer, with two versions, one with legs and the other without legs. I'll show you some close-ups of those in a little bit as we come to the end, to the conclusion of this collage journey. I am very pleased with small things working out, like this hand hooking around this hip was actually a purse, and how these two midriffs also came together, how this matched up so well with the neck, and also the shoulder with the other portion of the neck. Our flowers from the makeup ad. All in all, I'm very happy with this. And this, by the way, in French, I had to look it up because my French 2 has left my mind from high school. Not flowers. Am I going to call it that? I don't know. But I really like how things turn out. And just to show comparison, this is what I started with, this is what I was working from, and this is what I came up with. So I am pleased with the final result. It feels very surreal or Dadaist. And it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of work. I did a lot of this off camera because of measuring the body parts so they matched. Also, I don't know if you noticed in Timelapse, I went ahead and cut along here to see how it would look emerging from the music. So it makes the background more correspondent with the final image. I will again share with you what both of them look like with legs, without legs. I'd love to hear from you and get your feedback and comments on which one you like best, and if you use your own doodles in your collages, if that's what you do. Nonetheless, thank you so much for joining me in this collage journey, and I will see you in the next video.